Good morning, everyone. Just woke up in my Snugpak Hammock Cocoon. Thought I'd make a little video about it. There's some other videos on YouTube if you're interested in the Snugpak Hammock Cocoon. Kind of go over how to set it up and some other things about it. I really didn't see any people taking it out on actual trips and actually trying it out in weather. So I decided last night to take it out. Took a chance on buying it. I got it from Vermont Army Navy. They have a website, you can Google it. They had a big Black Friday sale. I got this for like 40 bucks, which I thought was a steal. Thought, you know what? Can't hurt to try it. A lot of people are talking about it over on hammock forums. Just to get an idea if it works or not. And for $40, hey, why not? So I'll kind of show you a view down here. A couple thoughts on it. First of all, when I opened it up, two things I was surprised by. The first thing I was surprised by was the color. I don't like green stuff, the OD green color. I just don't care for it. But this is kind of a shimmery, kind of a darker green, kind of a surprising color. I actually really like it. It's got a cool diamond weave in it. It's also got some nice stitched logos on it up here, if you can see, the Snugpak logo next to my wonderful face. It's pretty cool looking, though. I like it. The second thing I noticed is how big it is. It's huge. Man, this is not going to be for ultralighters. It's not going to be for long backpacking trips. It's pretty big. With the stuff sack, you can see other videos of how big it actually is. You can compress it down a lot with that stuff sack. It has nice compression straps on it, but it's still a big piece of equipment. Well, the reason why I got it to actually use in conjunction with the Snugpak underblanket, which I have and I've used on a couple trips and I love. I've used that down to about 30 degrees, well, right around freezing maybe, and it was perfect. I was warm, I was comfortable. That's about 50 bucks, which is a steal for a full-length underblanket. I'll probably make another video about that so you can kind of get an idea about it, but I love it. So I use the underblanket with the cocoon, and then I have, this is a 20-degree sleeping bag. I just use as a top quilt, so I wasn't inside of it, just laying on it. And last night it got down to about 25 degrees. The wind was gusting, according to the weather report, 25 miles an hour. It was howling through here. I mean, the wind was really whipping, and I was warm. I can't complain at all. Man, I was toasty, and I would poke my head out, and my nose would freeze. But with this cocoon, I mean, you can't even really do it now because I wouldn't be able to film. You can zip it all the way up around you, so you could be completely enclosed in. And I just kept a little hole open here so I could breathe some nice fresh air. But man, I was warm last night, and I was exposed here too. We're up pretty high on the hill, and I hung my tarp up pretty high, not expecting there to be any wind, and man, there was a lot of wind. We did have a small fire going, if you see over there. That actually went out at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We just started it up this morning. I was here with a couple other people, and they've all headed out. So the fire didn't provide any warmth at all for us. I can't complain about this in terms of warmth. Couple other negatives about it. Down here, as you can see, there's a hole in it already. First time I used it, I just pulled on it in the night. It separated there. I noticed when I got it that there was a little bit of a separation there anyways, where there was some stitching that was kind of suspect. Not a big deal. I can just sew it up. I wouldn't call that common with all the other Snugpak products because it's the first time I've seen it. My underblanket isn't like that at all. So I would just kind of write it off as just a manufacturing defect. I might even contact Snugpak about it, see if, you know, they can help me out. So in just a minute here, I'll hop out and show you some views from the outside of the hammock. Couple other notes about it. You can't really lay out a diagonal with this setup. Because of the way it wraps all the way around your hammock, it kind of prevents you from turning sideways. Now, normally I sleep with quite a bit of sag in the hammock and I lay pretty diagonal. But with this, I actually didn't really even seem to mind. I rolled up a fleece blanket, which I carry with me, and put underneath my knees, and then had my head elevated up here, and you just sat like you're in a recliner, with your head up, and then your feet like one of those Posturepedic beds you see on the commercials. Oh my gosh, I slept nice last night. I was out. So even though I couldn't get on my diagonal like I usually do, I was warm, I was happy. I even had to take the hat off during the night because I got so warm inside the cocoon. A couple times I had to open it up just to vent. So I'd imagine you could take this setup with a top quilt, under blanket, and the cocoon down to, gosh, the teens at least. Just the cocoon by itself, I'd probably say maybe 40 degrees to 35 degrees. You do get some drafts in the ends where you have to slide the hammock through the holes. Also, I noticed if my arms were outside of the top quilt and just underneath of the cocoon, you could feel some cool air moving around there. So I imagine just in of itself, it's probably not a great winter setup for most people. But them paired together, gosh, it's nice. The reason why I have this is I don't have a dedicated winter underquilt. This is my first season where we're really getting into hammock camping and really getting into cold weather camping. So this is kind of just a stopgap until I can get a little bit more expensive setup. But gosh, for these short trips, just kind of overnighters where I'm not camping a lot, I can't complain. So, all right, enough of staring at my face. I'll get out of the hammock and show you some more views. All right, here we are outside of the hammock. If you can kind of see how it goes over top your hammock, you do have this kind of hole here, which you do get some drafts. There are these little tabs that you could hook over. There's two tabs that you could hook together if you wanted, and it would really, I think, close that up. But as is, there was a little bit of a draft through it. It didn't seem to bother me last night. Same thing at the other end. Now there is a head and foot end. This is the head end, so it's got more room. The foot end's a little bit more closed up. One of the negatives about it is once you're zipped all the way shut, it's actually sitting on your face. Now I might actually try to modify mine a little bit and have a ridge line just so it's lifted up a little bit. If you could connect this somehow to your ridge line, it would lift up off your face and be awesome. But even as is, as I was sleeping, I just kind of got used to having something resting against my face. It wasn't a big deal. Let's take it from the other side here. Yeah, I just had a small tarp. Cheap tarp. It's what I take out when we're having a fire because I don't care if it gets burn holes in it. It's I think it was 30 bucks on Amazon. Show you around here. So yeah, that's my my winter setup for right now. Can't complain so far. Could be better, could be worse. Whether or not I recommend the cocoon by itself, I'm not sold on it. I think as a system together, if you got the Snugpak under blanket, your top quilt, and the cocoon, you'd have a pretty nice winter setup, although it would be very bulky. So you'd want to take it, car camping, short hikes. But anyways, that's my video review of the Snugpak Hammock Cocoon. I'll get a couple other videos probably soon of just the under blanket because that's awesome. I love that. I wholeheartedly recommend that. So, all right, catch you guys around.